Hi everyone, this is Sita Nair from Team Mac Malad Mira Road Sakinata, and today dear we are with you with something very interesting. It's called Tum Bhi Guru. This is going to be a journey where we share with you how our students, the alumni who've actually shared some beautiful memories with us while they were students here, now are doing fantastically well in the industry. They'll become mentors, they'll become leaders to many, and today we have one such very inspiring face named Farzad Irani. He is a game designer at IDZ Digital Studios, working as a game designer there and making us so proud. So let's know from him what are the challenges, what are the lessons, and what are the takeaways that he's had in his journey at Mac and now in the industry. So hi Farzad.
Hi.
So, how does it feel? Today you are here as a alumni, sharing your experiences with our current students. So how do you feel?
Honestly, man, very happy. I was surprised and shocked at first. I didn't think I would be in this position, 2 years earlier when I was just a regular student here. It's very exciting for me. My dad was like so happy for me and all. You were very cheering,
Oh, really? I remember you joined us during COVID. And I think hardly you've actually attended anything offline. Your major of your program here, I think you've handled it online.
Yeah, my entire thing was online, the entire course. I just came just once, just for a few doubts session. That was it. My entire thing was online otherwise. And it was fun. It went really well.
Okay, lovely. So tell us about your journey after Mac. How did you start? I think you started first as an intern. So tell us about your journey as an intern, and then from an intern to becoming a professional, starting out as a game designer. Tell us everything about that journey.
So in the starting, it was actually at the end of my first Mac program when I had started an internship as a game designer for a startup. We worked on about 3 games. There was a game to do with shades, so an athletic game and a shooting game. It went quite well actually, but in the start it was extremely challenging because I learned a lot from Mac, like so much that I didn't even imagine I would know this much. But reality also can be a little different sometimes. There were many challenges I faced, which was communication mainly. I just had a little hard time communicating with people around me, my team, what kind of game I wanted to make. But I always learn from my mistakes, and so I managed to wade through all the other challenges, such as deadlines actually. So we had publishers, and we wanted to adhere to deadlines that also could be a constraint for the quality of the games, but we managed. We made it through them, and yeah, I mean, the rest of my team was quite skilled enough, so it went well.
Okay, so tell me, as an intern, like when you get out in the industry as an intern, students are generally hesitant to take up internships because they either feel that ज़्यादा काम कराया जाएगा, या फिर maybe the stipend concept is not very okay with them because we all aim to get good handsome salaries at the first. So how did you tackle with that thought process?
The thing is, salaries for any internship in general is not going to be good in the first place. Any internship you take, like maybe software engineering, I don't know. But the thing is, I didn't think about money at that point. For me, it was a learning experience. Just gaining as much knowledge as possible was in the mindset I had. Take this forward. So I just told myself that I'm going this for the experience. I'm going to learn as much as possible so I can get a proper full-time job after this. And that's how I went be paid.
Okay. And I'm sure the way you present yourself, the way you communicate, the way you interact, your interpersonal skills, how much did that help, in this entire journey? Because you've always been a student who's very communicative. So how do you think of that element that added to your overall journey?
That's actually one of the most important things as a game designer, at least for this discipline, because you will be communicating with everybody every day. Our team, you will have to speak every single day. So it's extremely important, especially with the W publishers. You have to give the best possible impression to get the funding for your game to get it out. So I would say it's extremely important.
Okay, now that you said about funding for your game, tell me something. As parents, your mom, dad, how okay were they to understand about this concept of a studio being funded by somebody for a game to be made, because they generally don't understand as parents कि भाई game खेलने से आप game बना सकते हो. Firstly, we have to make them understand of that concept. Secondly, even if you start working, how do you making a game, or the game being downloaded for so many times actually ensure money coming into the account of the company, is a concept that they still don't understand, because they don't understand how can this be a fruitful career for somebody. So did you face hardships in convincing your parents?
It was challenging the start. It was, I mean, they were like, you playing shooting games is just gonna make you violent and all. But later on down the line, they got convinced. So it was,
How do they feel today when they see you working and leading a team of 20? How do they feel?
they were not expecting it actually. They were quite happy. They were like really proud of me. So I'm just so grateful that I received so much support from him, honestly. So they are really happy for me.
So now have they settled with the idea of the scope this industry holds? Because generally a parent is not very sure कि scope या future क्या है इस line.
Actually, I would like to talk about this a little briefly, because it's not just my parents who are unconvinced. Like you said, a lot of parents are unconvinced.
Yeah.
Many people don't even know how games are made in the first place. It's a challenging process. It's a long process, but it's very rewarding once you get the right game out.
Right.
So in the start, my parents were not convinced. I was not even convinced. Seriously. But then later on, after they saw how games are made and how passionate I was for it, they willingly sent me to Mac, and they are proud of me today. And I guess every person who's interested in this field just needs to show their parents how passionate they are for it. Because I mean, Indian parents often have the mentality of putting their children into fields like engineering, doctor banega, engineering, science and so on.
But do you think that still exists?
I really would does.
So what are those projects that you're very proud of that you were associated with, or you actually contributed to in your current company or even in a previous company, if you would like to name a few?
Sure. So my first game actually was TriAcer. It was bad. See, in the starting, I didn't know what I was doing, but I learned from my mistake. And my second game, which was Shape Slicer, turned out way better. And then I worked on a number of prototypes later on, so it went well. This was my internship. Later on, I worked for IEZ then, which I started with Petis Factory. So it was a puzzle game. It was quite good, I would say. It did have some flaws where the player would get stuck in puzzles, but it went well. And I later on got to work for Galyota, which was a A-style budget game. It was an Indian mythology game, and it had a very big scope. It was one of the most exciting times I was spent on making a game, honestly.
Wow, lovely.
So yeah, along with that, I work on some few children's games since my company specializes in that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really it.
What do you see as the future of this industry shaping up?
I think this industry has huge potential, but I think it will take a little time to get up to that correct stage, because we are just getting accustomed to this. Indian-type mentality are not shaped up to this actually. Earlier, we didn't do hand games with Native India. We had, but very few and far-fetched. Now, it's just there are jobs coming up more now. There are studios opening up. And I believe that maybe within 1 or 2 years down the line, there will be way more gaming jobs and more studios open. So there is a good chance that the industry could grow up.
Also tell us, what did you do academically? How did you figure out that this is what you should choose for your career? Like, what were you actually, graduating in?
So I'm a mass media student actually. First I started in science and I went to commerce, then I into mass media.
Okay, wait. You first did science.
Yeah.
After 12th.
No, I did it in 10th, and then in 12th I went to commerce, and then I went into mass media, which is arts in degree college.
Okay. So so basically you took a taste of everything that was available. Okay. And then thereafter you did DMM.
Yes.
Okay, so he did DMM, Bachelor's of Mass Media, and while you were doing DMM, you thought that you should do something in a designing.
Yeah. Honestly, I was really interested in marketing first. Like, it was my go-to. Right? I know how to talk with people and maybe convince them buy something. So I just started marketing in the right for me. So I went into that. And I learned a lot of projects related to marketing and
And this easy.
advertising as well. I been learned a lot from Macalong as well, and that really helped me get it off the best. I would say. I mean, as a game designer, you're expected to be from a field where you communicate a lot. It's one of the most important traits you need in the first.
So you thought DMM was okay.
I thought it would help me massive.
So do you have any advice to all those students who are actually confused in order to understand if they should do a degree in animation or should they do any normal degree? What is beneficial? What is going to prove that okay, the decision of the degree was the correct one? How would you know that?
Tell you the truth, your degree will not be as important compared to your work. At the end of the day, it's your output that you produce. Your portfolio doesn't matter more. You can take a degree in animation, no doubt. It's good that it will teach you a lot. But at the same time, your portfolio is key. It's what your employer will see to form hiring with. So you need that second. So a degree will only teach you. It's not good to just build your portfolio. That's something you have to do on your own.
Okay. Also, tell us something. What actually happened in the interview room? Like when you went for this interview, what are the questions? What are the typical questions you got from the interviewer? Or was there a technical test? Even tell us something about the process that actually went into for you to be hired finally there as a game designer. I think our students would love to know that.
So there was a technical test actually, but I'll get to that. In the starting first, I was asked what sort of games I play. And this is not chit chat by the way, this was just my employer getting to know what kind of genres I'm interested in, or what kind of games I play.
So,
After that, then they had asked me to discuss a particular game, which I did in detail. I would discuss what I was passionate about, what could be improved, what can be changed in this game. And then they asked me one simple question. What happens if one mechanic from this game is removed? How is it done in the game?
okay.
So let's take an example. Take this. What happens if you remove the L shape? Would that affect the outcome of the game? Or let's take Uno. What happens if you put round 2 on top of a draw 4? I will completely change the outcome of the game. So I was expected to give an answer based on that.
So basically, you were put across a hypothetical situation
Yes.
and then you were asked to answer that based on the confidence that they saw in you. The next
See, that's one to see my creativity on this. This is actually a very creativity based test. After all these, I was also asked about a game which maybe a competitor to my company, to the company or the client, to if I knew any. And then they would ask me to describe that as well. And after that, I was even legal tests where I had to come up with a design document for a particular game. And after I was given 1 day to work on. After I did that, the next day I appeared for the interview. I was then asked to break down my design document, and then they would criticize one particular aspect of my design, which I was required to answer on.
Okay.
For example, they would criticize some mechanics, which I really had to answer why I was using it in the game. Because that's what you actually face as a designer. Why are you doing this? Why is this mechanic existing? You have already an answer.
Right.
So for the stress test.
So basically, you were somewhere put under pressure, and they actually saw how you performed under that pressure, under those kind of questions.
Yes, I'm going to be brutally honest. It is a pressure kind of job. It can be stressful at times, but it's also very rewarding.
It's rewarding. At the end of the day, if there is stress, there are rewards as well. Okay. So what is your one advice to all those students who are currently aspiring to become one like you? Like as an artist, they're aspiring artists. So what do you have to tell them? Like what is that one piece of advice you would like to give them? Because they're coming here, they're doing their 3 days a week classes, 2 hours a day. They're also doing some practice. But apart from that, is there anything else that they're supposed to, put themselves into? Like any research or any networking, or what exactly are they supposed to do so that they can find themselves at a good place after they finish this course?
It would depend on what you're interested in massively. For example, if you're an artist, I would ask you to, maybe play through some games and analyze the art style. Analyze how this game was made, how the art was made behind this game, the logic behind it. Why this game chooses particular art style? How does the art style complement the gameplay? How does it function that way? So visually speaking, the player is going to see the visuals first.
Yeah.
That will be the first impression of the game.
That's
So they need to understand why we choose this visual style, how do we complement, and then what they will use for making their own game in the future. That's for an artist, for an example. So maybe for an engineer, it can be like the engineer or coder. It can be like what kind of mechanics are used in this game? How did they achieve this particular mechanic, and why did they achieve it? So you just have to understand code, how it was written, because we have AI now on the rise. Okay, and yes, it's going to affect us, but you can also use it for your advantage as a tool. So this is what I would advise you. I would say to everyone, like, just don't fall for the AI trap. Just make it your tool and make something of it. But at the end of the day, it will really depend on the skill. If you're talking about game designer, I would request you to go through all other disciplines and understand, because at the end of the day, you will have to communicate to all the other disciplines on how to make this game. So it really depends on the discipline.
Speaking of coding, do you think coding is necessary for anybody to become a designer?
Oh, not at all. I'm not interested.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because a lot of them feel that Unreal Unity ko hai but फिर भी coding आना जरूरी.
But that's a classic myth actually. It's not needed at all. I don't know a single line of code in my life. All I've done is just ask AI, draft something for me, just to make visual prototypes. It's not mandatory.
But do you think maybe as you experience in this particular industry, it's good if you can code?
It is good if you can code. It's not a necessity, but it's not something. It's not a stopping.
Understood. So that not knowing to code is not going to take away any opportunity.
I will not take away any opportunity. I don't know one bit of code. I don't know anything related to code. I just understand how it works. That's the only thing happening.
Oh, love. So apart from that, is there any advice you would like to give to our young aspiring artists?
When if you are a young aspiring artist, I would suggest just spend time on software. So explore as much as you can. Play around with Blender or Maya, or just spend the half an hour, 1 hour a day. Look up some YouTube tutorial how to make this item or this particular model or this scene, and then try and practice yourself without watching my tutorial. That's the way I learned. I spent a lot of time in Blender actually, and it was my go-to software for the time. So that would be my advice on it.
So which software application do you use at your studio? Is it Blender? Is it Maya? Is it Unreal? What exactly are the softwares you work on a daily basis?
It really depends on what I'm doing currently. So I normally use something as simple as Google Docs just to edit design document. But I would use something like Canva to maybe design a UI of a game, or maybe Figma to actually have a visual playable prototype, or maybe something like Unity, because you can make simple prototypes in an engine as well. But I would advise first you work on a visual prototype so you have an idea of what your game will look like before you commit to working on an engine. After that, I use Unity and Unreal typically in my company, because we make children's game on Unity and we focus on bigger titles in Unreal.
Okay. So you basically use Unity and Unreal?
Yes. But at the end of the day, it just depends on what kind of game you're making that will complement the engine, because there are lesser known engines like Godot, for example. I have used them, they are brilliant. Godot is actually such a good engine for 2D. It's just a shame it's not as used right.
Okay, nice. And lastly, before you leave, we would just like to ask you, what is your vision for your own career? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you have a loan package? Like, where do you want to be?
I actually wish to open my own gaming studio in the future. I'm really passionate about games. I just have this mindset where, as a child, I used to play games, I used to appreciate them. I used to have a smile on my face playing them. And now I want that same smile on somebody else's face as they play my game.
Oh, lovely.
It's just one of the greatest, wonderful experience for people to play my games. So yeah, I really want to open a studio in the future.
Have you seen anybody in your, contacts playing a game that you made?
Yes.
Yes, have you?
It is so satisfying when I just see them smile playing my game.
Yes. That's exactly why I asked you. Have you seen somebody play what you created?
Yeah, it just makes me so happy when I know that they are enjoying it. Like a best kidding about, honestly. So it's very fruitful.
Lovely. So thank you so much, Farza, for your time, especially on a Monday, the first day of the week, that you've actually, skipped work and actually come here to actually interact with our students. This means so much for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our students. I hope this was some kind of an insight for all of you, hearing from Farzad and his experiences in MAC and after MAC, and of course the journey ahead. We wished him all the best, and we wish that the universe conspires to bring about your studio dream coming true very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to all of you, let's see who next would be in our talk show Tum Bhi Guru. So until then, stay tuned with Mac Malad Mia on Sakina.